Hello everyone, my name's Ed Metelica, and we're at the Noojimo'iwewin Center today for another filming of Jiibaakwedaa, Let's Cook. So today I should say, we've got a extra special day. We've got a guest with us, Paige, from the Boys and Girls Club here in Red Cliff. And this is Native American Heritage Month, and they've had a lot of stuff going on. I know, Paige, you want to tell us about some of the things that's happened or are still going to happen this month?
Bonjour, my name is Paige Moreland, and I'm the youth director at the Boys and Girls Club. So far this month, we've taken the kids to a powwow. We went down to the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. We took them to a powwow down there on top of a campus visit. Last week, we did a mall trip just to kind of get the kids out and about a little bit, just kind of get them out. And then this week, we're doing a theater production of Annie. So again, we do have some spots open for that. But next week, I'm excited for next week. So next week is fall break for the kids, but we have fall break day camp for 3 days, starting Monday through Wednesday from 9 to 5. We still do have openings. Ed will be there.
I will be there.
He's going to be making some awesome traditional meals with the kids. We do have a lot of different activities planned. We have RC Tree coming up. We have the SNAP Education coming in. We have Ed coming in. We're working with Tippo. And then we're going to be taking the kids down to the pool. And then we also have a traditional meal that we're going to be doing with the kids on that Wednesday. So that'll be, I'm excited for that. So, but yes, it's Native American Heritage Month, and Ed and I wanted to make some traditional meals. So we're excited to make meals today. I'm already kind of hungry. It already smells good. I can't eat yet, but here we go.
All right, so we picked a meal together that we thought might be kind of fun for families to do, you know, where the kids can get involved. And there's a bit of prep work, Mom and Dad, so we'll go through that, and if you can get some of that done in advance, it'll make the final putting together the meal a little more fun for the kids. But anyway, it's called Venison in the Blanket. And basically what it is a venison wild rice mixture that's rolled up into a cabbage leaf. All right. Now you might wonder, where did this recipe come from? Well, we really don't know, but it's been around for a couple thousand years. Not this version, but putting meat in a cabbage leaf and baking it or cooking it over a reasonably long period of time, hour and a half, has been done since Egyptian times. Just different spices went into it. There's a lot of European countries that have this meal. Americans have had it. All over the world it's been done. So where cabbage came from, I don't know. Look it up. But anyway, this version comes from, the original concept of it came from a guy named Jeff Savage in Fond du Lac, right? And what he did was put in some ingredients that were more traditional Native American. So we're going to go ahead. Here's the ingredients that you're going to need. And of course, we'll have a printed recipe with the video. And, but just wanted to show you what goes into it. So we got a head of cabbage. Right here we have just some ground beef, but what you really want to have is some venison, some ground venison to add with the beef. That'll give it a really good flavor. An onion, some minced garlic, maple syrup, bay leaf. You can use fresh or dried, whatever you have available. Some crushed tomatoes and some wild rice. So to get you started, let's get, there's a couple different steps. One is you got to have the rice cooked. So I already had some that I cooked because I tried this recipe the other day. So you're going to need about a half a cup, but there you've got some, cooked up rice. Did I do a good job on that?
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
I didn't burn it,
Looks good. I kind of want to eat it already.
Okay.
I'm kind of hungry, sorry.
All right, then you're going to have some cooked rice, and you're going to have to make a tomato sauce. And what you're going to do is put your crushed tomatoes into a pot and add to it a bay leaf, some salt and pepper, and a little garlic. The exact amounts are on the recipe, so I won't go through that. All right. So again, the crushed tomatoes, you add some salt and pepper, bay leaf, garlic, and the special Native American ingredient, some maple syrup. All right. Sugar bush. So I had some pre-prepared. So we've got here a mixture of the sauce already with those spices in. You put it in a pot and just let it simmer over medium heat for a little while. You just want to get it warmed up, that's all. All right. Your onion, you're going to chop up as fine as you can, and you're going to mix that in a bowl with the ground beef and the venison. If you want to add a couple spoons of tomato sauce to it, you can. If you want to salt and pepper that, or add a little more garlic to it, you can. But basically, you take all of that and you mix it together. And this is fun for the kids, I think. It was for me. Thank you. And that's just basically using your hands to mix all the meats together, and you add your wild rice to it. So what you've got here is the venison, the ground beef, the onions, a little salt and pepper, a little garlic, a splash of the tomato, and the wild rice. And it's all mixed together. And that's what we're going to stuff into the leaves. The leaves are what's going to take the most work. So you got to have a head of cabbage. First thing you want to do is cut the butt end off of it. So you clean that up a little bit. And then you're going to start peeling the leaves as gently as you can to get them whole, keep them whole. All right. The first few come off pretty easy. After that, you're going to run into all kinds of deformed areas. You're going to run into leaves that don't want to come off as easy. They're going to start to rip on you like this one is. And I'm going to show you what to do to help out with that. If you run into that problem, especially as the cabbage gets smaller, you're going to have a pan here, and that's going to have water in it. I'd use a little bit bigger pan than this. It depends on the size of the leaves, but put like an inch and a half of water in there and get it boiling. You can take the cabbage and set it in the hot water and just leave it in there boiling for about 20 minutes, and that will soften up the leaves enough so they'll peel off a little bit easier. All right. So once you've done that, peel off the rest of your leaves. You'll probably get about a dozen leaves off a normal head of cabbage. The core, unfortunately, is going to be kind of unusable. So the next thing is every leaf has this main rib that runs through it, which does not fold over very easy. It tends to keep the leaf curled up and doesn't fold easy. So you just cut that out, and you see how the leaf flattened out right away? So you're going to do that to every one of the leaves. All right. I can see you're itching to try that.
Oh, heck yeah.
All right. The next step in preparing these for the cabbage rolls is that water that you had the head of cabbage in. You're going to put one or two of these leaves in there, in the water. You can put a lid over it if you want and let it cook for, I'd like to say about 2 to 3 minutes, just boil in there. It takes a while for the cabbage to soften up. But when it's done, when they're soft, they're going to look like this. They're going to be all gushy. And that's the way you want them. You can see I cut the V out on there. All right. And some of them are going to fall apart, and that's all right. And this is the fun part that the kids are going to enjoy. Move this, whoops. Move that to the side. All right. So now we get to make the roll-ups. We're going to start at the base where we cut that V out and where the leaf is the thickest, and we're going to take enough of the mixture, the meat mixture, make like a little log, and the key is you want to have enough left along the sides so that you can then roll the sides up. Okay, I think I can add a little more. This is a pretty big leaf, but I'm going to make it chubbier, but I'm going to leave it short so I can roll those sides. All right, so then we just start the roll, and then we fold up our leaf. Kind of like doing a burrito, all right? We fold that up, finish the roll, and that's it. And the seam, it's going to go seam side down in a pan. So we're just going to finish off the rest of this cabbage doing that. And you're going to have to make your logs to fit the leaf. So if you've got a tiny leaf left, well, then you just make a tiny little log. So you can see the people down south in Mexico adapted this recipe probably to use what was available to them, which was a lot of corn products, and they made burritos. Basically, same concept. In Europe, every country that I know of, Poland, Russia, Austria, Germany, Scandinavia, all have a recipe that includes various meats in a cabbage roll. And these don't have to be very neat, because you'll see, and they can have holes in them, you'll see the way they get cooked, they're going to stay together. And once they cook, these rolls are going to kind of just melt into each other and stay. What do you think, Paige?
I'm getting hungry already.
I remember making these with my mom, and I would make just such a mess. Things were falling apart.
They look good, though.
And Mom would say, "Don't worry about it. It'll all be edible."
Exactly.
The key is, just adapt how much you put in based on the size of the leaf you got. Okay, so we're going to put these. There's two different ways you can cook them. You can put them in a pan like this and set them in the oven at like 350. And it usually takes about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. What you'll want to do after it's been cooking, you can't really overcook it. The longer you cook it, the softer and more tender everything gets. So you can do that, put them in the oven in a pan like this, or if you want, you can put them in a pot. And you can put them on top of each other. If you have a lot of them to make, and you think you're going to have a dozen, 2 dozen of them, maybe you have 2 heads of cabbage, it's all right to have them, on top of each other. The cabbage is going to let out a lot of juice and liquid. It's going to mix with the tomato sauce, and it's going to basically simmer it and boil it in the tomato sauce. And then all we do is we just pour the rest of our tomato sauce all over it. That's it. And this one, obviously, we're going to do in the oven because we already got it in this pan. So, Paige is going, I got to wait an hour and a half for this. Yeah. Maybe not. We won't have to wait. All right. That's it. So, again, you got 3 different steps. 4, actually. You got to prepare the wild rice. You got to make your sauce. And while those are simmering, the rice is cooking. You can work on the cabbage, softening up the leaves, cutting out the V. And, and by the way, let them cool before you start this process of rolling them up, because they don't roll as well when they're hot for some reason. And then stuffing them.
How long does it go in the oven for?
Hour and a half.
At what temp?
350.
350. All right. Put it in the oven.
And when it...
What was it? How long again?
Let's go an hour and we'll check it.
All right.
All right.
Wait an hour then.
So guess what? We had some that were cooking a little earlier. Paige was monitoring it. And when they're done, they're not going to look a whole lot different than when you put them in. Just a little bit more cooked. And that's basically it. Tastes great served with a green veggie, mashed potatoes, whatever. It'll be a delicious meal. So it's a little bit tart because of the tomatoes, but the sweetness of the maple syrup comes out. Ooh. And then with the wild rice and the venison and ground beef, it's delicious. So everybody enjoy. And do we have anything else we got to cover?
No.
No? I think once we go off camera, we'll just sit down and eat. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Sorry, it's kind of rude to eat on camera, I feel like. But I can't wait.
We've done it. We've done it. I did want to mention something about Jiibaakwedaa real quick. Starting in December, we're going to hand out ingredients again, at least for a couple of months. We're going to try it. And we'll have them available at the Food Distribution Center for a day a week, or at Noojimo'iwewin. We don't know yet, but watch for the next video and you'll see, you'll see what's coming in December. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. Miigwech.
Thanks.
And
Miigwech.
yes. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, bye.